Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on which part of the world that you are joining me from this day. How are you all doing? I trust we are enjoying ourselves and that this season, this is the Christmas season. This is the season where we celebrate as Christians the birth of Jesus. Even though we know he wasn't born on this day, but we choose to celebrate it on this that's tomorrow. When I say this day as if it's today, it's not today. But today is Christmas Eve. That's the day before the actual day we choose to celebrate. So, who is here with me? Who is here with me? Do let me know if you're here with me. Let me do a quick sound check. Welcome to Growth Habits with Ngozi. Remember that I'm your personal guide on this journey of growth. And I will remain your personal guide. Nothing is going to make me run away because I know sometimes. And I will remain. All right. Even I feel like, can I continue this? But we will continue this journey together and we will go as far as we need to. Yes. So, how is everyone doing once again? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Do let me know when you join. Let me know that you're here so that I can welcome you specially. So once again, this is Growth Habits with Ngozi, and I am your personal guide on this journey of growth. We have been on the series on change management for some weeks now, and we'll conclude this series next week. Yes, our last session on change management will be next week. Then from the upper week, we move on to something else. And as I explained, we decided to talk about change management because we are getting into a new year and we are all making plans for the new year. So it was essential that we look at how to manage change. One, the change that is the plans we have for that next year, that coming year. We need to know how to manage it properly so that we don't keep being in this rut of every year we make plans, we set our goals, we have resolutions or what have you. And by the end of the year, nothing happens. We find that we have not achieved most of the goals we want to achieve. We have not done most of the things that we want to do. So, and then also as the year is going by and things are changing, we'll be able to adjust and all that. So that is why we started this series on change management. I want to believe that we'll be receiving value from it. And like I said, we'll round up this series next week, Tuesday, and then we can move on to something else. Yes, so yes, let me just say this before I go on. I told us and I mentioned about our boot camp for leaders, for emerging leaders, because I called it the Emergent Leader Boot Camp. And wow, that's all I can say honestly. That boot camp was something else. Not even just for the participants, but for me also. A lot of things were, will I say, birthed in that period of doing that boot camp. A lot of things I had to put right. A lot of things that as I was talking, I was like, oh, I noted down one or two things. So that boot camp was something else. If you missed it, you missed a lot. You missed a lot. And I don't know, you've missed it, honestly. Initially, I was saying, oh, the recordings, I can make them available, but I changed my mind. The next bootcamp maybe will make those recordings available. So we really had a good time. We learned, in fact, some people said some of the participants were like, this is Harvard level teachings within 3 days. It was a lot, really. It was fully loaded, fully loaded. If you missed that, I really don't know. I don't know. Make sure you join the next one then. Exactly. Yeah, I think that's the best thing. Make sure you join the next one when it is announced. These things like this should not be missed, honestly. It was really, really a good time of learning, a good time of, we had assignments to do. We developed our elevator pitches. We developed our leadership plans and things like that during that boot camp. So, yeah. And as a follow up, well, no, it's not even a follow up. After we did that boot camp, I had to begin to work on my mentorship program for next year. So it is available now. What you will do, there should be a link that showed up when you joined this live. If it didn't show up, I'll still post it at the end of the live session. It's a link to my seller store. Go there, you will see the mentorship programs. We have 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year mentorship programs, individual, and we also have mentorship programs for group mentorship. All of them are on that seller store. Go there, select the one you want, make payments, and we'll take it from there. Also, our one-on-one clarity sessions, 1 hour clarity sessions, you'll see it also on that seller store. If you go there, look for exactly what you want, and it will lead you on how to get it. Also, our journal is also there. So just go to the link on that seller store and get everything that you need. I had said that our group sessions will start in February, but I think I'm going to adjust that to start. I was maybe mid-January, so that anyway, I will confirm. Is either mid-January or first week of February. It will not pass first week of February for our group mentorship program. The flyers and all will come out within this week so that you can just align and choose the one you want. If you don't want to be part of a group, you want to be mentored personally, they're all on the seller store. You'll go there and you will choose what best suits you. All right, so yeah, our series on change management. We started off with session 83, and this is session 90. There is 7 sessions on change management. I don't know what we could have missed in these seven good sessions. I think we have truly dealt with change management, and we are ready for 2025. I don't see how you not be ready for 2025 if you went through these 7 sessions with us here. So session 83, we talked about introduction to change management. What does change management mean? And it's just a structured approach that helps individuals, that helps companies, that helps teams, organizations to get from their current state to a desired future state. So it's just putting structures in place to help you transit from here to there in your business, in your personal life, in your company, in your organization, in your team. That is what change management generally is all about. The next session, we talked about the types of change, the different types of change that are possible. Because when you understand these types of change, then you also understand their implications. It will help you in navigating that change. We said, and we have been saying in every session, actually, since then, that change is constant. It's the one thing we can be sure of, aside from God, change. Because things will always change, as in always, things will always change in your life, in the organization, because all things are not under our control. We don't have absolute control over everything. So things will always, always change. All right. We said that the types of change are structural change, strategic change, technological change, or cultural change. Those are the different types of change, and we looked at the implications during that session. If you missed any of these sessions, you can go to our YouTube channel and you would see all the recordings. Our YouTube channel, Growth Habits with Ngozi. You can go there and you can rewatch all the sessions if you have watched before, or watch them for the first time to get all the information that's contained in those sessions. There's been quite a lot. Honestly, there's been quite a lot. Session 85, which was the next session, we talked about the change management process itself. That's a step-by-step guide on the whole process of managing change. This just gives you like I said, a structured approach instead of just doing things by the fly. A structured approach with which you can navigate, with which you can implement change. We looked at the steps that are involved, which is planning, communicating, implementing, and evaluating. Those are the basic steps to the change management process, and we discussed that in session 85. In session 86, we looked at the role of leadership in change management, because it is essential to understand the expectations of the leader, including you that is leading yourself and not leading a team. Understand? Because part of change we are talking about is change on a personal level. So you're leading yourself. We looked at the role, what is expected of you as a leader in that change management process. And we talked about setting the vision, managing resistance, all those things. Session 87, we now looked at developing a change management strategy, having a full structured plan that is designed, of course, to get you through this transition. We talked about making sure that this plan aligns with your goals, aligns with your values. We talked about ensuring that the change is sustainable, not just the one that after 3 months you are done. So that was what we talked about in developing a change management strategy. Session 88, we now began to drill down. We looked at communication strategies during a time of change. What are the ways to effectively communicate? Oh, welcome, Mrs. Amune. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. So, session 88, we talked about communication strategies. How do you effectively communicate this change to those that are involved, to the stakeholders? Because it is one of the backbones of the whole process is being able to communicate it effectively, being able to communicate it with clarity, being able to garner trust of the stakeholders in the process by keeping them informed in time. And something went off for a second there. All right, okay, so that is that. That was communication strategies during change. In session 89, we talked about engaging employees in change initiatives, or even not just employees, but the team members, the people that are involved in carrying out this change process. It's essential to engage them. You can't just be the boss, for example, and just be saying, do this, do this. You have to get them involved in the process so that they have a buy-in, they are part of the process, and they see it as their own and not their own. So that was what we talked about in session 89, talking about engaging employees, engaging team members in the change management process. Then session, that was session 89. All right. So today, session 90, as I said, and we're going to talk about overcoming resistance to change. Because just as sure as change is, so is resistance to that change. It is rare to embark on a change process and not experience resistance. If you're managing teams, the team members will resist that change. There must be 1, 2, 3, 4 members of the team that will resist the change. When you're managing a personal change process, you can be a resisting factor to the change. So definitely there will be resistance. Just know that there will be resistance, especially if you're managing a team. Know there will be resistance and prepare for the resistance. This is one of the things that is like a stumbling block to a lot of people navigating through change. They did not anticipate that there will be resistance. Especially, actually, not just in a team. Yes, a lot of people manage teams and they don't anticipate resistance, which causes their plans to develop, hiccups along the line, and sometimes causes the plans to fail. But especially in a situation where the change you're managing is a personal change, we forget to anticipate that we can be a resistance to achieving our change. So that is what we want to talk about. And first of all, like I said, that resistance is natural. It is natural. So expect it. Once they are going to change maybe the process, the way you do things, once you're going to change people's roles, and once you're going to change the environment, whatever you want to change, there will be resistance. And it is a natural reaction. Is a natural reaction. So have that in mind and then make a plan to manage that resistance, because it will never disappear. It's rare. It's rare to see that the whole resistance is completely eliminated. It's rare. But you can manage it to such an extent that is no longer significant. Okay, so but to do this, you need to have prepared for it. Of course, we can also prepare fully for resistance, because you really do not know truly what types of resistance you will get. You really cannot know truly who will resist. Sometimes you can project, but you can't ever know it fully. And because of that, you also have to that's why you need to prepare for it. That's why you need to plan for it. And plan, will I say generally, so that you don't plan for a specific resistance and then that one doesn't show up. You understand? So it's essential to have a plan for overcoming resistance, for managing resistance in every change process. So generally, when we say resistance is the refusal or reluctance to accept changes or to accept modifications in a system. That is what we mean when we say resistance to change, is that reluctance or complete refusal to accept the changes, to accept the modifications. And like I said, you can be the resistance. Your mindset can be the resistance. And usually, this resistance comes up as a result of fear, as a result of maybe your habits that you already had, past habits, or just a lack of trust of the system, of the person managing the change. These are some of the things that can bring about resistance in a team setting. On a personal level, generally, is fear. Fear of the unknown, imposter syndrome. These are the things that could bring about resistance on a personal level. And if you recognize them and you know their characteristics, then you can manage that resistance better. Let me look at some of the things that could cause resistance to change a little deeper. Of course, fear of the unknown, like I said. We don't have clarity about the future. And because we don't have clarity about the future or about the impact of this change we're embarking on, how it will affect us, it leads to us being anxious. It leads to us being afraid. It leads to fear. And what we fear or what we're afraid of, we resist generally. What we're afraid of, we generally resist it. What we don't understand, we generally resist it. It's a natural human behavior. Excuse me, let me take a bit of water. So, it's essential that we understand this. Sorry, my water was not coming through and I just saw that the straw detached. All right, so it's essential that we understand this, that fear of the unknown is one of the biggest causes of resistance to change. And so you can address that fear. A lot of times with more information. That's why it's essential to truly understand the change that you want to embark on. Have a clear vision of it. As I said, I don't know whether it's the first session or second, be able to see that future that you're heading to. If possible, experience that future in your head, in your mind, experience it so that you have clarity about it. It will make it easier for you if it's a personal change. It will also make it easier to lead a team through that change because you understand it and you can explain it. It's lack of information most times that causes fear. So that is how you deal with that issue of fear. Then a loss of control is the next thing that causes resistance to change. We're not in control of the future. The future, to a large extent, is unknown to us. And when we don't have control over something, the tendency as human beings is to resist that thing. So a loss of control is one of the things that causes resistance to change. Then, of course, lack of trust. You don't trust the process. You don't trust the change leader. You don't trust. And once you don't trust, you begin to resist. And this lack of trust will come from past negative experiences. Maybe you've dealt with this person before and, didn't quite pan out well, so you don't trust them. Or maybe there's been a process like this before and it didn't quite work out, so you don't trust the process. This could be on a personal or a team level. Lack of trust. Then we are comfortable with the familiar. We like to stay in our comfort zone. So anything that tries to move us out of that comfort zone, we resist. Natural human behavior. So that is one of the things. Then misunderstanding the need for the change also. This is why vision is essential. Clarity of vision. When we don't grasp the full reasons or the full impact or the full reasons why we need to do this change, why we must make the change, we will resist it. So it's essential that we have clarity of vision, clarity of the whys of this change we're embarking upon. It will help in resisting the change. Okay, so how do we overcome this resistance? We basically looked at what causes resistance to change. So how do we overcome it? What do we do? What are the steps that we can take that will help us in overcoming resistance to change? Number one, build awareness and understanding. Communicate this change. Communicate it with clarity. Communicate it simply in a way that people can understand. Educate those involved or those that will be affected or those that will benefit from this change. Educate them. Let them know what it entails. Once again, if you yourself do not understand it properly, you cannot communicate it either properly. So that's why it's essential that, I said it, I think it was last week or week before, that vision of that change needs to align with your values. It needs to align with your goals. That makes it easier for you to internalize this change process and to communicate it effectively. But if it doesn't align, you begin to have issue of even you believing it. Even on a personal level, a personal change you're embarking on, teach yourself or educate yourself properly on the whys you need to make this change. Why do you need to do this, go through this change process? Educate yourself on it. Educate yourself. Because when you don't, you begin to be the resistance. You begin to be the resistance yourself. Your mind will tell you, you don't really need this. You don't really need this. Or this can't be done. Even if you need it, but it can't be done. It's too hard. It's too difficult. You just can't manage this. It's because you have not properly educated yourself on this change. You have not. You have not, is it told yourself the truth I want to say about it? Yeah. You've not done all the research you need to do. And so, because you don't have full information, you begin to resist the change. The same goes for the people you're leading. Because they don't know everything. Of course, when I say everything, they cannot possibly know everything, truly. But give people a good chunk of information. Educate them properly. For example, you're introducing a new software in a company. Let them, understand this software. Give them full information. All the frequently asked questions, try to attend to them. There must be some normally frequently asked questions about any software, for example, because that's the example we're using. Let people know about them. Explain why you need to implement this new software. And people, we love to know how this benefits us. Explain how it benefits them. This will help in resisting change, even on a personal level. Understand why you need to do this thing you're trying to do. Why do you need to embark on this change? Get yourself information on that activity, whatever it is. And we've been using a fitness journey as example throughout this series. Educate yourself. Don't just jump into a diet in quotes or a diet and exercise regime in quotes. Educate yourself on the foods you should eat, how you should eat them, when you should eat them. Educate yourself. Know how these things affect your body. Then, it becomes easier to be able to do some adjustments to your diet if you're like on a fitness journey. If you understand that this is how, for example, rice affects your body, then you can be able to say, okay, basmati rice, for example, does not have quite the same effect. It has a reduced effect. You can switch to basmati rice and leave the regular rice. I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying that basmati rice is in any way better, but I'm just giving an example. Or you're supposed to incorporate more vegetables into your diet. You understand that this is necessary. You have done the research and you know that you need to incorporate vegetables, especially green leafy vegetables. It does not mean that it has to be kale. We have our ugu. That is a green leafy vegetable. But if you do not educate yourself, you will think it's until I eat salad every day. And by the time, you start eating only salad, resistance, for sure, it will begin to, in your mind, build up resistance, and there goes your journey. So it's essential to build awareness, build understanding with information, do the required research, understand the process you're about to embark on. Number 2 way to overcome resistance in change is to encourage participation and involvement. See, especially when leading a team, when people feel a part of the process, when they feel this is our thing, they're more reluctant to resist it. Most times people resist change initiatives, they resist introductions of any new thing because they feel it's their thing. It's management's idea. It's management's process. It's not my own. So they can be lax about it, they relax and they don't bother. So one of the ways to overcome resistance to change is to encourage participation. Get people involved. If it's in an organization, get the employees involved from the planning stage, not implementation. From the planning stage, get them involved. And then, of course, in the implementation, but ensure that they are part of the planning stage so that they have a sense of ownership. You're leading a team, for example, in church, whatever it is. You're leading a team, your neighborhood or your landlord's association, whatever. You're doing Christmas party, whatever team you're leading, ensure that your team members are engaged in the planning session. Ensure that they know what is happening from the planning stage, not just the implementation stage. Many of us, we do the planning all by ourselves, and then we tell people this is what we need to do. And we expect them to engage in it. Some will, of course. There will always be some people that catch on to a vision quickly and run with it. But there will be those that will not engage and will be a resistance simply because they were not involved from the beginning. So encourage participation, encourage involvement from the planning stage by those that are part of the team, those that will be somehow affected by this change, because generally they will be affected by this change in one way or the other. And another thing, that when they're involved from the planning stage, they see how this can benefit them. They see it and they can run with it because they have seen it. So encourage participation, encourage involvement. I hope that I'm still being heard. Quick check, because that time that it looked like the live cut for a second, I didn't bother to check. Unlike me, if I am still being heard or if I'm all by myself. So if you can hear me, do let me know. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it didn't go off. Sometimes technology, you never know. All right, so that's good. Okay. I was talking about encouraging participation as a way of overcoming resistance to change. It's very essential, as I said, very important that we encourage them from the planning stage, get the team members involved from the planning stage for a personal change you're trying to embark on. Of course, you're the one embarking on it, so you're already in on it from the planning stage. But try to consult either mentors or friends. Get one of two people involved in that transition you're embarking on personally. Get maybe friends, family involved in the planning of that change. Now, of course, it doesn't mean you just carry your whole whatever change you're trying to embark on and hand over to someone. No, but involve an extra person in it. That will help. At least that person will possibly keep you accountable. That person will possibly help you through the process. They might have some information you don't have. So have either a mentor, a guide, a coach, whatever, or a friend that you bring into the process. That will help at the times when maybe your motivation is low, you don't want to continue with this process. That person can be, the impetus you need, can be what pushes you to take the next step. So encourage participation and involvement. Mrs. Regina Obiago, thank you for joining me. I am glad you're here. I hope you're having a good day where you are. So the next way to overcome resistance to change is to communicate it openly and frequently. Communicate openly and frequently. We cannot overemphasize the importance of communication in managing change. It is so key. So key. Give people consistent, give people transparent updates on what is happening, especially the stakeholders, the people that this change will affect, the people that, or stand to benefit from this change. Ensure that you're providing consistent and transparent updates. Very important. Consistency and transparency in communicating this change is essential. It's essential because, it reduces fear. And remember, one of the biggest things that prompt resistance is fear. Fear of the unknown. Okay, thank you for confirming you can hear me clearly. Fear is one of the biggest causes of resistance to change. And one of the ways to deal with fear is simply information. Communicate openly. Communicate frequently. Communicate transparently. We like to, do all this kuchi hiding things. It doesn't help. Communicate with people openly, communicate with people frequently. Be transparent in your communication. Let them know this is what we're about to embark on. These are the possible disadvantages, if there's any. These are the possible risks, if there's any. Make it plain to people. Then they will buy into the vision because they clearly understand it. Remember that it's not everybody that will buy in. Keep this in mind because we are, of course, talking about resistance. And generally, resistance is from those that have not bought into the change. But the aim is to mitigate that resistance so that it's to the barest minimum. You can't eliminate it completely, but at least get it to the barest minimum. Then on a personal level, you're embarking on a change process. How do you communicate openly and frequently now? Because, you're dealing with yourself. You're dealing with yourself. Track your progress. That is how you communicate openly with yourself. Track your progress. Have a way of seeing, how far you are going. Track your progress. Give yourself regular updates on what you're doing, and that is by tracking your progress. Either you're writing in a journal or something like that. It will help you see how far you are going. Remember that we said you should get a mentor, a friend involved. Give that person regular updates. Share your achievements. Share even your struggles with that person and let them hold you accountable. This is how you communicate openly and frequently on a personal level, on a personal change journey. Of course, when you're leading a team, send updates, maybe you do weekly updates on how far we have gone. What do we still have to do? This is what helps. You can have, question and answer sessions, whatever, but just keep people involved, keep people engaged. Let them know this is where we are, and this is how far we are from our target that we have set. Okay, so another way to deal with that's overcoming resistance to change is to address emotional concerns. Address emotional concerns. Many times, I think this is more in our part of the world, we bottle up emotions, we bottle up feelings, and we don't address them. But in order to get people's buy-in, truly, to get people to go on the journey with you, to get people to follow, acknowledge their fears, and then provide support for those fears. Don't belittle people's feelings, people's emotions. They have a right to be afraid of the process. They've not even seen the vision like you. They have not. You are the one that have seen the future place you're taking them to. You're the one that has, in your mind, experienced that future state, not them. So they have a right to be afraid. They have a right to be worried. So acknowledge people's right to feel fear. Acknowledge people's right to feel um, anxious. They have a right to it. Acknowledge it and then help them deal with it. Of course, one way is to provide the correct information so that they are not confused, so that their fears are assuaged. But acknowledge that they have those fears and allow them to have the fears. It's okay. It is actually okay for people to be afraid, for people to be worried about a process. It is actually okay. See, you can't even deal with people's fears or their anxieties or their worries if you don't understand it yourself. So acknowledge that people have the fears and then provide the support they need. If they need to talk about it, allow them to talk. Of course, you have to manage the talk also so that it doesn't affect others who maybe are not afraid. You now allow the people who are afraid to talk so much that they put fear into the heart of the others. No, but encourage people to talk, provide the support they need, help them through the process. Help them through the process. See, when you do this for your team members, you have their loyalty for life, honestly. Because they see you as someone that cares, they see you as someone that's invested in their future. Even if truly, you're not as invested as you appear, but that is the impression they will take away. I'm not saying we should be two-faced or something. Truly care about people. Truly care about the people that you're leading. Care about them. And take the steps necessary to get them up to speed. You will have their loyalty for life. There are people, human beings are interesting. Once people feel that you care about them, once people feel that you are invested in their progress, they are for you. They are for you. So give that emotional support. Address the emotional concerns. Give them the support that they need. On a personal level, journals help. Because the idea is to acknowledge the fears, write it down, and then walk through them. Use your journal. Use your coach, if you have a coach or a mentor, a friend, someone, but acknowledge the fears. Accept that they exist. And then look for solutions. Look for how to move beyond the fears. How to move beyond the emotional concerns, the anxieties, the whatever it is. After you've acknowledged them, look for how to move beyond them. Don't dwell at the point of acknowledging them. Move forward from there. Okay, the next thing that will help us overcome resistance Okay, I'm trying to pick the things that will help. Okay, one thing that helps, I have so much here as I'm looking at my notes now, I'm seeing so much, but I'm trying to pick out the ones that, because I'm also checking the time. As I looked at the time, that's what made me begin to scroll through now to see how far I've gone on my notes so that I don't make this session too long. All right, so we've talked about addressing emotional concerns, which, yeah, we've talked about that. Then the next thing that we can do that will help us overcome resistance to change is to highlight quick wins. Highlight, as we say, the low-hanging fruits, highlight quick wins. When they are, no matter how small, when there are small successes, especially early in the process, acknowledge them. Acknowledge them. It helps build people's confidence. Those early advances, those early wins, they might look small, Acknowledge them. Celebrate themselves. People trust a process more when they see that it is working. Human nature. People trust a process more when they see that it is working. So acknowledge the small wins. Celebrate the quick victories. Celebrate them, especially those early stage victories, those early stage wins. Acknowledge them, celebrate them. It will help build confidence. It will help build trust. It will help people see that, oh, okay, this is actually working. And if it is working now, the possibility that it will keep working is there. But if from the beginning people don't see the wins, they don't see the progress that's being made, they can become discouraged and then they begin to resist the process. This is why it's important to acknowledge the quick wins, celebrate those quick wins, both on a personal level, in a team level. Acknowledge those quick wins. For example, if you're on a journey to read a book a month, this is your personal change you want to embark on to ensure that you read a book a month. Celebrate that you have read one chapter. It sounds, irrelevant. Why? But celebrate that you have read one chapter. Or better yet, start your journey with a short book. Don't start with a 500-page book as the first book you're going to read. You will get tired along the way, especially if you're not used to reading. So you're trying to embark on a journey to read more because you believe that the information will help build who you are, make you into a better person, make you more educated or more knowledgeable in a particular process. Good. And you want to read a book a month relating to that field or that direction that you're going. Good. Perfect. Start with a small book first. Look for a short book dealing with that topic or whatever and start with that. By the time you are able to read that one book and you make it through before even the 1 month is over, you're ready for book number 2. In fact, you might even wind up reading 2 books in 1 month. And when you do this, when you achieve this, note it, celebrate it, write it in your journal, whatever, and then on to the next. But you see, if you start off with, like I said, a 500-page book in something you're not you're not yet comfortable with reading and all that, unless that book is super, super, super interesting and super exciting, maybe by the time you get halfway, you're tired and you don't want to continue. So you see, the strategy there would be to start with a smaller book. Okay, so that is how to highlight your quick wins, celebrate your quick wins in managing or overcoming the resistance that might come from a change you're introducing. Maybe in an organization, just recognize the little progress you make in implementing that change. Maybe in the first month, what did you achieve? Celebrate it. Within the first month of implementing, even if it's still at the initial implementation stage, you're still rolling out, let's say, a new program. At the end of the month, you were able to roll out the program. Maybe you intended to have 50% and you achieved it, or you even got to 48% or even 45%. Celebrate it. Don't treat it as a loss. Unless it's a major delay, maybe that 45% is a serious delay. It's going to cause serious delay in the future or something. But try to celebrate the little successes. It helps to build confidence. It helps to build confidence. Then one other thing, I think I might have to stop here once I talk about this. One other thing that helps to overcome resistance is to reinforce change with rewards and recognition. We are human beings. We love to be recognized. We love to be recognized. We love it when people acknowledge our efforts. We love it when, people reward our efforts. So do that. Do that for your team. Do that for your team. Recognize when people adapt to a change quickly. Find a way to reward it. The problem we have many times that when we think of reward, we think until you do big prizes or something, it doesn't follow. See, even just at the next meeting, recognizing this person as the most, I don't even know the word to use now, most adaptive employee, and let people either clap for them or something. It's something. Oh, that is a form of recognition. It's something. I'm not saying it's the only way that you can recognize and reward successes, but that is already something. It must not be until you give people money that you have recognized their efforts. Start small, grow it. For your on a personal journey that you're embarking on, celebrate your milestones, reward yourself. Let's go back to our fitness journey. You're trying to, live a more fit life. You're trying to live a healthier life, and you hit a milestone. Either you lost 1 kg, that is a milestone you can celebrate. Celebrate it. Or for the past 1 week, you ate healthy. You did not allow yourself to slip back into your unhealthy eating habit. Celebrate it. Recognize it. Celebrate it. Maybe you can celebrate it by, I don't know, buy yourself a new workout outfit. I don't know. But celebrate it with something. Don't now say, for the fitness journey aspect, don't now say, oh, for 1 week, I ate healthy. So to celebrate, I'm going to eat one whole tub of ice cream. No. You can celebrate with a cup of ice cream. Reward yourself for being disciplined for the past 1 week. It's okay, but ensure it's just like a cup, so they don't spoil the whole 1 week worth of work in trying to celebrate the wins. Okay, so reinforce change with rewards, with recognitions. It goes a very long way. One other thing, let me mention this, that helps in overcoming resistance to change is introducing the change gradually, implementing it gradually. Don't, load the whole process at once. Gradual implementation. Break the implementation down into smaller, manageable parts, and then introduce it in those little portions, those broken down portions. And as you're achieving those small portions, you're heading towards achieving the full goal. And each milestone you achieve, you celebrate it, and people are hyped. Your team members are hyped because they are seeing progress. So gradual implementation works in resisting change. Because remember that one of the biggest hindrances to change, one of the biggest causes of change is fear. And to address that is with information. People fear what they don't know, but now they know. You've told them about it, and then they are seeing progress. They are seeing, because the implementation is gradual, they are seeing the little wins. You get them on your side, and you get them to key in to this process. So with that, I think I have come to the conclusion of this discussion on overcoming resistance to change. For any change to truly happen, you have to bear in mind that resistance will come, and have to have a plan to overcome that resistance. And we talked about the ways to do this, addressing the fears, getting people involved from the planning stage, especially those that this change will affect, keeping open communication, clarity of communication, transparency in communication that will help you build trust. Acknowledge people's fears and alleviate those fears. Don't just acknowledge it and move on. Alleviate their fears and be adaptable. This is important. Be adaptable. Don't be stuck in this is how we are going to do it. Adjust the plan when necessary. Celebrate the little wins. Do gradual implementation of the plan instead of big chunks. Introduce it gradually in small, small, manageable chunks, and then celebrate the process, celebrate the wins, and you will see that when you approach change in this way, you will get buy-in, and the process will most probably lead to success. All right, so I hope we have learned something. I hope we've gained something from this session today. I think anyway, I will put the flyer when the flyers come out. This idea of starting our group mentorship in February is still playing in my head, but the flyers, once the flyers are ready, I will get it out there. Whether we'll start the group sessions in February or mid-January. Let's see how it works out. So thank you for joining me once again this afternoon on Growth Habits with Ngozi. It's always my pleasure to share this 1 hour with us, to share knowledge, to reason together. I don't know if anybody has any questions or any comments to make. Please put it in the comment section. I will attend to it as soon as I see it. Thank you once again for joining me. Remember to follow us on all our social media handles everywhere. Facebook, Growth Habits with Ngozi, and also this my Facebook page, Ngozi Onwocholoba. Instagram, Growth Habits with Ngozi. My personal page, Ngozi K.O. TikTok, Growth Habits with Ngozi. YouTube, Growth Habits with Ngozi. Follow us on all our social media handles. Remember that all the videos of these sessions from day one, they're on our YouTube page. So go to our YouTube page, subscribe, watch the videos, comment. Once I see the comments, I always respond. So go there, subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch the videos, comment, like, share with others. Let's spread the gospel. Let me put it that way, of growth to everyone around us. The link, I'll put up the link again to our seller store. You can go there, you can get our journal. You can go there, you can book for one-on-one clarity session. You can go there, you can book for one-on-one mentoring. And even also the group mentorship. They're all on that seller store. Click on the link. It will open up and show you all that we have available. Select the one you want, make payment, and I will get back to you on how it will go on. So once again, thank you for joining me, and remember to make today and every day count. Be valuable. Ensure that in whatever you're doing, you're giving value 24/7. Whatever it is you're doing, ensure that you're giving value, and ensure that you are growing every day. Don't let any day go by and there's no growth experienced by you. Don't let any day go by and you are not offering some kind of value. Even if it looks insignificant to you, offer the value. Offer it as is. Go ahead. So, yeah. Thank you for joining me once again. See you next week, Tuesday, where we will conclude this series on change management. We're concluding it next week, Tuesday. And then from the upper week, we move on to something else. I'm thinking whether to take a 1-week break after we finish this change management. I will let us know anyway. I've not decided, but definitely we'll be here next week, Tuesday, right here on Facebook Live. Yes, I'm still trying to see if I can broadcast on Facebook and Instagram simultaneously. We're still working it out. Or Facebook and YouTube, something. Let's have two platforms where this growth habit sessions is happening. We're still trying to work that out. And once we are able to do that, I will also let us know, so that if you're not able to join on Facebook, you can join either on Instagram or YouTube. when I sort all that out, I will let us know. Thank you all once again for joining me. It's always my pleasure to have you, and see you all again next week, Tuesday, right here on Facebook Live, 12 noon Nigerian time. That is the time. So have an awesome day. Bye.